So would you say that the divorce was the defining moment for you?
No. And the reason I would say that is because I don't believe that a defining moment can be made by someone else's decision. And it wasn't my.
That's just hang on. That's pretty brilliant. That's very insightful.
Thank you.
So I'm asking everybody to just like sit with that for a minute. And to me, it goes along the lines, in few exceptions, nobody can really hurt you. Like when people say, "Oh, you hurt my feelings." No, you kind of hurt your own feelings by accepting, it's that you've probably heard this before, is what people think of you is none of your business.
Yes. Yes. And so, yes, the event of the divorce sent me in certain directions. But as I often remind my kids and my clients, it's not if and when you get knocked down, because you will. It's how you get back up. And the defining moment for me was how I got back up.
And how did you get back up?
So I had a company. I was raised in a very entrepreneurial family. I've always been an entrepreneur. And I had a company many years ago that focused on political consulting and lobbying. And it was fascinating. I learned a ton, but I'd never do it again. And I'm glad I don't live in that political world now. However, I had the company for about 8 years. And that actually was one of the motivators in my starting this company in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, if there were resources to help me grow and scale my company, I didn't know how to find them and I didn't know who to trust. And especially working in the political world, nobody trusts anybody. So I was very worried about being taken advantage of, and I didn't know how to price my services. I really didn't know how to sell. So I was learning all of that while I was doing the political consulting and the lobbying. And when I had the divorce, which was a surprise to me, and I was really gobsmacked, I was very caught off guard. And my youngest wasn't even 2 at that time, so little kids. And in order to even out my revenue, because it was tied to the election cycle, I added the lobbying, which is great, but it required a lot of travel. So what I realized very quickly when the divorce started to move forward was I needed to stop traveling and I needed to stabilize things for my kids. And I was pretty sure I was going to be on my own financially and logistically. And I kind of underestimated that. So I was really on my own, and I have no family where I live. And so I was really on my own and had to develop a plan of what I was going to do. And that plan included closing my business and getting a job because I needed health insurance for my kids. So we're raised to think that life is a straight line, and it never is. And I wish someone had told me that before I experienced it for myself, because I think I would have been better prepared.
Yeah, you would have
But
prepared, right?
yeah, but regardless, I got knocked down and I figured out a way to get back up financially, logistically. And my goal was always to raise good human beings. So as long as I kept that in perspective, everything else was manageable. And I took a job at an international school as the director of development, handling marketing, public relations, and fundraising. And then I became director of operations and managed a really well-known, well-respected international school, and was there for almost 9 years, and wanted then to take that experience in finance and operations and bring that to the small business market. So I always knew I was going to start my company again. And I knew I wanted to be that resource for other women business owners, but I was waiting for my kids to get older and more independent. So that's really the plan that I developed and put into place so I could get back up.